Hey everyone, guess what? We're here with John. John's in Veilcaste. If you don't know him, you should fucking check him out. My introduction to Veilcaste, my live introduction was just a couple of weeks ago at Magbar. Was that last week?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Okay, time was so
Uh,
fucking screwed up, you know. Um, and you guys absolutely ripped, dude. I was like,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we love coming down to Magbar. We played Magbar Fest last year and we're gonna play it this July as well. So
hell yeah, that's super cool. I'm bummed. I was Well, I wasn't there all weekend last year. I think I went for like just a couple of quick in and out times, but they do such a good job with that. But so many bands, like,
oh
how
yeah.
do I,
At the
how
end
do,
of the day, I was like, I don't know how you could do 3 days, but yeah, no, it was great. It was a blast.
yeah,
Like we got to hang out with the crop dudes and Howling Giant, and it was a really great fun time. The She dudes, of course. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All those, it's like a big, like family affair. Everyone's like hanging out, like, hey, dude, I ain't seen you in a minute. What's up?
Yeah, and that weekend that we played at Mag Bar that you saw us at, that weekend we had done like a 3 day weekend with Lordship and She, and it was just a total blast. The design collective out in Cincinnati was all the people from Cincinnati referred to it as Shredder's Hangout because it just looked like the place that all the young toughs would hang out with like stolen car stereos. Like it was a totally awesome place to play.
That's freaking cool. Yeah, that weekend looks like you guys had such a good time that whole weekend, and to top it off at Mag Bar was happy for me. It's like, yeah,
I mean, the dudes in Lordship and the dudes in She are so much fun to hang out with. So it was a really good time.
for sure. Yeah, I saw Lordship for the first time last year at Legalize, and I'm talking with a buddy of mine, like, dude, they fucking rip. He's like, they absolutely do. It's like caveman doom. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it fucking is.
no, those dudes are a blast.
Hell
We're
yeah.
heading out to legalize Lex the 19th of just a couple weeks. But yeah, super excited about that.
That'll be such a killer fucking show, dude. Like, of course, the 19th is a great night, but both nights are killer. You're
Oh yeah,
topping. Friday night is Temple of the Fuzz Witch, Astronaut. Of course, she is on that. I'm sorry to the rest of the bands. I don't really remember who all's on like which
which night?
day,
Yeah.
you know.
No, we're kind of smack dab in the middle of the day, and yeah, just excited to be part of it. Braun's a cool dude. All the crop dudes are awesome. So just yeah, excited to go out and get to play Lexington. We actually haven't been out there, so
Right on. So he did such a killer job with it last year. Everything ran so smooth, like, with the outside and the inside stage. You're setting up on the other one when one's playing. I think one time we missed like a start time, and that wasn't anyone's fault. It was a technical issue with a head. A head stopped working. So, like,
that is
motherfucker.
that is the worst when the unexpected gear outage is the worst. We're actually Blind Scryer is playing right after us on that day, so Louisville homies too. So
Yeah. Yeah, actually just talked to Blair. I just saw him. When did I see him last? I feel like over the last month I've seen him a dozen times or so out at shows. I'm like, hey.
yeah, those
Uh,
were all super awesome. We played with them at Doomed and Stonefest in Ohio, in Canton, Ohio. This
Now,
yeah,
is that up by Cleveland?
yeah, it's like kind of southeast of Cleveland or southwest of Cleveland,
Okay,
kind of near Youngstown.
gotcha. Youngstown. That's the Baseball Hall of Fame, right?
I think so. I'm
Maybe.
not sure. Oh, yeah. You just found how little about baseball stuff I know, even though my
Okay.
kid plays baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's totally different level though, like kid playing baseball, you're like, hey, cute, Pee Wee League, and
yeah.
you know, like
Sure.
how many home runs he have? I don't know. They fucking everyone got a trophy. We're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just there, like I'm like just there to see my kid, whereas like, everyone's like, top to bottom baseball gear, and you're like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know a lot of baseball facts." Well,
that's great. I actually I like baseball and I don't know a lot of facts, but like I go to a lot of well, I go to some baseball games and I've got two jerseys. I've got a Metallica Kill 'Em All jersey and I've got a Slayer is it South of Heaven jersey?
that's tight.
I
Oh, you got, I mean, yeah, mixing it up. I love it.
hell yeah, I'm still gonna represent. I don't give a shit. My wife's like, that's a crazy one. They're all crazy. So, uh, I don't know a lot about you guys. Like, how long have you all been together, and like, what was the catalyst for Veilcast?
Yeah, so we started out in like 2010 as under the name Conjurer. We Another band started up like 2014-ish with that name. They kind of got more famous, so it was like kind of a pain in the ass for us to try to do things with labels because they were like, which one are you? And so we just decided to just go with a different name and yeah, get things moving forward.
Hell yeah. So what, like, did you guys have a lot of issues changing the name over to Veilcast?
Not really. I mean, there's just a lot of legwork because like all of the like you know, digital distribution stuff for like, whether it's DistroKid or, Muse or whatever one you use, they do not like it when you change names. So we ended up having to like pull out of one, move to a different one, and kind of just start fresh. It was a huge pain in the ass. I don't wish it on anyone, but it's been great. We put out two records as Conjurer, one called Old World Ritual, one called Sigils, and then we had a split with Tusk as Veilcast, and then our LP a couple years ago, Precipice, and then we're about to go into the studio in June this year to record, and getting to go out to Earth Analog, which is like the singer of Hum owns that studio, and he's got like a bar next door called the Loose Cobra, and it is like a creative nexus. Like I don't know what it is, but it is just like it is a very, I wouldn't have believed it unless I went out there and actually like experienced it, but it is just like this like creative nexus. Like there must be something special about that spot because like so many awesome records have been made there, and it was a blast to do it.
That's freaking cool. It's so weird how, like, for me in the last 6 months, Hum has come up so much. Like, uh,
So important.
for sure. Like when they like hit it, had what was that song? Was it
Star.
Starseed?
Yeah. Stars. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. They everyone was like, "Oh, that's great." And I think people dug into the rest of it was like, "Hold on, this is not that." Like,
Yeah.
no, but it's great, and so I mean, you know how fucking popular music is. People are like, "Oh, this is so awesome." And then like, "Whoa." But
Feel like
so
back
Bri
in the 90s, it was at least where I was. Like, I mean, I lived in Indy, but I feel like, there were like three record stores. Whatever they had was kind of what you had as an option. And so that song came out, and I remember I ended up buying their second album, Downward is Heavenward, or really, I think it's their third album, but I bought that record and loved, the other stuff, but that kind of became my entry point for them. And yeah, it's they definitely got have like the metal stuff, but then they kind of have like kind of that slowed down piece. And there was just I didn't understand it at the time, but there's definitely like something Midwest that I think connected with me as a kid that I was
oh
like,
yeah.
I didn't even realize they were writing over in Illinois because I you know you didn't have like Wikipedia to go search up where a band was from. It was just kind of like what you could get from the thanks list or whatever.
Yeah, you guessed on all of it. And I'll be honest with you, I thought forever that they were a Canadian band for some reason. Like, I think it's because they came out like they were hitting it about the same time as like Our Lady Peace.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, that's fucking wild. But so Bryant St. Pierre, who obviously passed away, what, about 4 years ago now. He had another project called Am Blair that I'll be honest with you, dude, it is so fucking good. Like,
And I
uh,
haven't heard that. I need to go check that out.
you for sure. Do Fairy Ring, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So Matt, who's playing drums for them right now, and Alex are two-thirds of Am Blair.
Wow. I did
Yeah.
not.
So it was like that's was I just found out about it because they played with did they play with Brant Bjork, I think?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they played that and I was like, holy shit. My wife's like, this is good. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking good. So
Dude, that band, that last Hum record that came out right at 2020, it was like, I mean, it was a grim period for everyone, but man, having that record come out was like such a bright spot and all of that. I just remember like we were taking like, every night walks around the neighborhood and just hitting that inlet every chance I got. It was a real bright spot during COVID. But man, the other band, if you haven't, I mean, I'm sure it sounds like you've gone deep on it, but is Centaur. I
I don't know Centaur.
That's Matt's other band. I mean, it's very hum, related. But every once in a while they'll get together for he has a fest out there at Loose Cobra called like Stoner Fest, and every once in a while Centaur will play, and I'm hoping they play this year because I didn't get to see him last year, so.
Hell yeah. Well, I need to figure out when that is because I'll fucking be there.
I think it's usually sometime between September and October, but it's in Tolono, Illinois, which is like a real small town. So it's like just south of Champaign, Illinois.
Those are the best ones though. I love the like small town stuff.
Yeah.
You get I think a lot of people obviously like Louisville, obviously you've got like Louder Than Life, Bourbon Beyond and shit, but man, that it's the smaller fests is where you find that like the music that's on the cutting edge and that's actually like I don't want to say actually good because there's a lot of bigger bands that I fucking love too, right? But it's the stuff that people they don't give a fuck. They're literally only writing music for themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, there's Sweet Cobra plays has played there a bunch of times. Those dudes rule, and yeah, it's it's a it's also like it's a manageable fest, kind of like Legalize, where it's like it's big, but it's not so big that you're like, holy shit, I'm gonna have to like, take a couple naps during the day because it's just
yeah,
so.
that's the downside with the bigger festivals. I mean, Louder Than Life particularly. I love what they're doing and I love the theory behind it. But like I think Thursday this year is heavy. I
Yeah.
mean, it's probably the heaviest day they've ever had at Louder Than Life. And I'm looking at the bill like there's probably a handful of bands and I'm like, I don't want to see them, but everything else I want to see. But
Yeah.
how do I manage going to see everything I want to see? Like one song for them, one song for them.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's hard to manage it all. I mean, it's a lot of the fests are kind of overwhelming.
It really is. Really is. And that's the good thing about Legalize is it's not last year was, it was just a single day and it was a lot because I think it started at noon or something and we went shit probably until midnight or one, but
Yeah.
like you're like, okay, there's a lot going on, but you were able to see every band if that's what you wanted.
That's awesome. That's
Hell
really
yeah.
I love the like two stage flip flop. I think it's a good move.
Oh, it really is.
Once you go past two stage, it makes it hard to like you have to start prioritizing between bands.
Yeah. Yeah, that adding that third or fourth stage is like, okay, like there is no just back and forth anymore. It's back and forth and I'm a terrible juggler, so like I'll just stick with the two. Is there a band this year that you are really, really looking forward to seeing?
I mean, definitely I know this, shameless plug for Crop. Obviously, I'm excited to see Crop just because I've only seen them once. Hell yeah. And then, man, also really excited to see Horse Burner. We played back with them in a few years ago in Cincinnati, and and those dudes are awesome. We actually played with them in India maybe 2 years ago. And then of course, excited to see Temple of the Fuzz Witch. I haven't gotten to see them yet, so
So are you guys coming in a day early?
I think so. I think that's
Cool.
the plan. So
Yeah. That's love Temple of the Fuzzwitch. Like every chance I get, I'm trying to see those dudes. I actually almost went to Chicago to see them last night.
oh hell yeah.
I was like, man, I really wanted to. I think it was them and Astronaut, Shadows of Jupiter, and I don't remember what the fourth band was, but I was like, cool, I want to go to that. Of course I didn't, but
No, I mean it. So where we are, because I mean, Indy is kind of centrally between a bunch of different big cities. A lot of times, tours will skip over Indy, or what they'll do is they'll go up to Fort Wayne and then over to Chicago,
yep.
just 'cause that's an easier jog. Um, so we end up, either having to go to Chicago a lot of times, or sometimes we'll go out to, Columbus or Cincy or Louisville. Like when King Diamond and Uncle Acid came through, we all caravan down to Louisville and saw him down there, which was stellar, a truly
Yeah.
stellar show.
That's well, that's I feel like Louisville's that way too, right? Like so many bands skip over, but like we are centrally located. They will almost always hit Nashville or Cincinnati or Columbus, and then Indy is pretty often they hit Indy, but
Yeah.
then, Detroit, Chicago, Pittsburgh, St. Louis are, are the major markets that they're for sure going to hit one of those.
And that's how we tour is we get to like do like essentially like like we'll go Cincinnati, Columbus home. We kind of do the 2 or 3 day weekend and just kind of we're able to cover a lot of ground that way. But it does kind of shear off some of the coast locations unless it's like a fest or something, which that's kind of on our probably next year, bingo card is trying to get out to kind of one of those fests that are more like either, New York or in Austin or something like that. So
Yeah, I feel like Maryland Doomed would be a,
okay.
a great fest to hit. Of course, Ripple Fest in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year they did a Ripple Fest Boston.
Shit.
So I was talking to someone, I was like, they're like, oh yeah, we're playing Ripple Fest this year. And I was talking to Temple of the Fuzzwitch. I said, one in Boston. And they're like, yeah, Austin. I'm like, no, I said Boston.
Yeah, that's rough having two locations that rhyme. But yeah, definitely, we've kind of been putting feelers out, but with the new record coming out later, hopefully later this year, that's gonna be kind of when we do the big push to try to get to some of those.
Yeah. So do you guys ever do like longer runs than just like weekend runs?
We haven't so far just because most of us have kids or, job stuff. So and the other thing is like I all through my 20s and 30s was in bands that toured and Monday night and Tuesday night kind of suck everywhere except Louisville because there's Metal Mondays, but those are super hard for us to get down for. But yeah, we tend to kind of do a Thursday to Sunday realm of possibilities and kind of just see what shakes out.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
I'm
actually,
kind of a lackluster booking agent as it is.
well, I mean, realistically, I like when bands do it. Obviously, I like when bands tour all the time because then, right, like bigger chance of being able to catch them. But especially regionally, when bands are doing 2, 3, 4 days, they're generally going to be somewhere within like driving distance, and like
The Indy Cincy Louisville triangle is like I remember not understanding as a kid that Cincy was so close to Louisville because I would see people that I knew from Cincinnati when I, down at like the brick house in Louisville. And I was just always like, how the fuck do you guys get everywhere? But it
right.
was was just that, 2 hours every side of the triangle kind of thing.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And Cincinnati's so much, I say so much closer, but it's like it's about 30 minutes less to get to Cincy than it is to
Totally.
Indianapolis. So, oh shit, that's so wild. And when I realized that Indianapolis was so close, I thought, oh, that just opened up a whole nother fucking realm of like going to shows. Like I
Totally.
would go to Nashville a lot, but shit, it's closer to go to Indianapolis. Like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, Nashville. We love playing down there too. I think that's yeah, we played down there with Montaluna when they were doing kind of one of their big tours. This was pre-COVID, but yeah, that was a good spot for sure as well. Love
So,
shows.
have you seen like a change in, let me rephrase that. What changes have you seen like post COVID in the entertainment world?
I definitely feel like it's attendance is lower than it used to be, but also kind of people are more like I feel like people definitely take it more seriously coming out to shows and like knowing that like, I don't know, they're more excited about the shows they go to, but I also feel like there's been a little bit of drop off in just kind of the transient number of people that show up. Um, and then I feel like everything is a lot more, it was already pretty regimented in terms of like how you go through an album release, but now I feel like there's like real specific steps you have to take in order to reach people on specific platforms and yeah, there's like a whole digital marketing element to this game that is like a different skill set than knowing how to play guitar. So
Very different. It's like, and it's so crazy to think about, especially for a band, like no one gets into a band and goes, "Ah, dude, I'll be the band marketer. I totally got this." Everyone's like, "I just want to play fucking music."
what's funny is I
Let's
work in marketing and I still sometimes I'm like, this is a lot. Like this is a lot of like digital marketing that like even for someone that knows how to do it, like I don't know that knowing how to do it for like large companies is the same as knowing how to do it for your band. So luckily our new guitar player Garrett, who we've been in bands together since we were teenagers, like he and Chris and I were in bands as kids forever, and being able to have all three of us back in a band together has been like super magical. But he is like really gifted at creating like especially like little story video snippets and things like that that like when you see him you're like of course, but when you're just sitting around in your house you're like I didn't have a lot of that happening. So if you've noticed over the last like 4 months, our social media presence has really improved. It's all thanks to Garrett for sure on
hell yeah. Garrett, are you taking on any more clients? Because I think there's a lot of people out
that.
there who need them. And it's cool. I've got a buddy that he does the same thing. He's fucking great at social media marketing. To watch what he's done for like both him and his band and the bands he's working with is fantastic. I mean, I'm absolutely blown away at some of the stuff that he does. Like he did one post. It was like a business post, but the first word up there was come. Like, I'm like, why'd he do this? Because the fucking reach exploded.
So insane, dude. Yeah, the idea that like I don't know. It makes it. I mean, this is like a joke from like a movie where they're like, Steely Dan wouldn't have gotten signed in today's world, but it's like, would any bands that we love from our childhood have made it in like the social media age? Because it's just it feels unnatural to like put yourself out there so hard, but and that's what I've loved about like kind of what Garrett's been doing is it's really like video based and it's really like it's kind of following the conventions, but also kind of like in a way that doesn't feel quite so like self-absorbed or self too self-important. How's that?
Yeah. I think that's a fair way to put it, right? Because that balance to go, oh, I need the social media reach, but I don't want it to be all about me, right? Especially in a band scenario, like this fucking band is awesome. We should like really get us out there, but the photos are like me. Like, oh no.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like none of us are like in a band so that people look at us personally. You know what I mean? Like we're
Right.
not models or something. Like we play metal and we want to have metal get to people's ears, but yeah, you kind of have to play the game. So
Yeah. Time to play the game. Yeah. Um, oh shit. I hate play, I hate as much as I hate playing the game. It's kind of fun though because you get to meet on the socials, you meet people like, of course online and then you see them at shows and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" Like,
yeah, totally. No, I was stoked to get to meet you at that Magbar show. I had no idea that I actually didn't know where you were located. I knew of the channel and I knew who you were, but I didn't know you were in Louisville. So
yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't really put it out there like, "Hey, I'm in Louisville," but
yeah, yeah.
uh yeah, it's funny. Like we just went up to what did we did? We went up to Detroit for Meshuggah, Cannibal Corpse, and Carcass. And I ran into someone there like, "Hey, you're yep, yep, I am. Hi." Like
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Carl Byers, who we record all our stuff with, he and I went up to see At the Gates when they did the Slaughter of the Soul, like top to bottom shows, and got to see Fab from Vihara up there, and it was just yeah, totally random. You're just like, hey, I know you from the interwebs.
yeah, funny thing, I actually run into Jack Gibson, from Exodus. In the last year, I've probably ran into him a half a dozen times going to fucking shows. I'm just like, "Hey," and now he sees me and he's like, "Hey." I'm like, "All right, I'll not fuck with you
Oh yeah,
tonight."
yeah. You're like, I'm normal. I'm normal.
Yeah, yeah. His I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife. I met her at an obituary show. They were hanging out. We just kind of chatted, and then I saw her again. It was in January. It was the Nile 6 Feet Under Psychroptic tour. And she's like right in front of me taking photos. She gets done and she turns around and I'm like, "Hi." And she's like, "Hugs." I'm like, "Yes."
That's awesome.
It makes you feel good when other people are like, "Hey, you're fucking, so and so." Like, yeah, I am. So you're paying attention, or at least you remember me from a show, whatever.
I get a lot of your reels, so I get kind of like the little snippets, which
Yeah,
is a weird way, admittedly, a weird way to absorb interview content. But I mean, it's like I said, it's the way it is.
it is the way it is. I know actually get a lot of shit. People are like, "You've got to do better with your reels." And I'm like, I don't know how to do better with my reels. Like, I like this little part. I know what the conversation is around it. My ultimate hope is that someone goes, "Oh, like, I'm really curious about what that was about," and digs into the interview.
Yeah, totally.
But it gets a lot of fucking reach, dude. Like, it's so wild to think. So my first episode, I think, was uploaded Christmas of 23.
Okay.
So I'm just under like 16 months now. And it went from obvious like nothing to I think last month was YouTube was 60,000 like views, and then Instagram was like 80,000 ish. So I'm like,
Hell yeah, dude. No, that's killer.
yeah, to get people to fucking really dig into the bands though is super fucking awesome. Like who did I have a I actually had a conversation at the fucking Meshuggah concert. Someone was like, "Hey, dude, I watched this interview. I don't remember what band it was, but it was like a lesser, it was a band that didn't have a lot of like follow, not like, big followers. But they're like, dude, I watched that interview and I thought that's really cool, and I checked them out and I fucking love them." And I'm just like,
That's awesome.
That's
And
that's all I want.
that's the whole thing right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how many people actually dig into a band and like them that I just don't know about, you know?
I'm sure it's thousands,
I fucking,
thousands of people finding individual bands. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's all we can hope for.
you never think about the downstream on that, but it's yeah, it, that shit's really powerful.
Yeah, for sure. So I really like Precipice. I think it's a great fucking album.
Thanks, man.
Is there a song on there for you that you like more than the others or like playing more than the others live?
Yeah, I've got two on that. So one is Drag Me Down, and then the other is A Gasp of Air. Those are like my two favorite songs from that record. Well, that and Dust and Bone. Those are probably the three from that record that we kind of have kept in our live setup. For Legalize, we're going to be doing a bunch of new songs because we're getting ready to play them, because we're getting ready to record. So we're going to be playing a bunch of new stuff. Mostly just because we want to kind of road test them and see what what's hitting, what's not, and kind of get some of those, those little things that you get from a live performance that when you just go from practicing to recording, you kind of miss, like just little flourishy things that you don't think about until you bust them out live. So
Yeah, sometimes you got to do, you've got to do a little work on them live. So, okay, like this flow really doesn't work live. We just need to change whatever.
just things where like what'll happen with us, like our drummer will try out like just new little thing, like little splashy things that get people hyped, and it's we just like to incorporate as much of that. Like our goal is basically like all hitters. Like I know that sounds like, well, duh, that's an obvious musical goal, but like the goal is like no filler on the record. Like every single song is something you're excited about, because like there are definitely songs on every one of our records where it's like those are our preferred songs to play live, but like we want it to be where every single song is strong enough to stand on its own, strong enough to be in the live set, regardless of kind of which ones are the favorites.
Sure. It's a good way to look at it. One of the issues or one of the challenges that I face with some of the larger bands today are I realize I talk a lot with my hands, like holy fuck.
Yeah,
But
my always
yeah, but one of the things that you find with some of the larger bands is they have there's a couple of great songs and then a lot of like filler,
yeah.
right? And when you get down to this level or our level, it's like the band's really focused to have a good solid album from start to finish. And I love to put on an album and go, I'm just going to listen to the whole fucking thing.
Well, and
Like,
how you sequence it, like I mean, you're kind of almost every album, at least to us, like when we're thinking about it, we're thinking about, okay, you're gonna listen to side A. How does that group of songs sit as one unit? If you don't go flip the record over, like something happens, you're done doing whatever you're doing, you turn off the record player, then decide B exists kind of on its own, and then of course A and B together. Like so, it's kind of three different listening experiences that you're having to solve for. So
yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, okay, they're if they listen to the digital album, it's gotta flow like this, but then the vinyl, which is, of course, our world, the
oh yeah,
side A, like, oh, that's fucking great. It should finish like this on side A and side
yeah.
B
Like,
should,
and even if that's the end, like what you're going to hear, like did that work as one unit?
yeah.
So if anyone listening ever listens to one of our records and they, picks up Precipice and they listen to each side, I mean, we really did try to have that be a cohesive unit for each side.
So funny. I bought Precipice at the fucking show and it's literally sitting on top of my record player right now with the poster. And I'm like, I've got to listen to it. I've got to listen to it. And I'm not, sadly, not taking the fucking opportunity to like put it on.
You know how it is, and I feel like I buy vinyl that comes with a download code, and I feel like I end up listening to it more with the download code, but I do definitely always take the vinyl for a spin too.
Yeah, I buy the vinyl because I want to support the band, and I've got 20 million fucking black t-shirts that my wife is like, "Where'd that one come from?" I don't know.
Well,
Uh,
we've started the T-shirt museum, which is just like two bins in our basement that it's like the T-shirt graveyard, but every once in a while it's fun to go back through there and just, see
rotate.
all the old shirts and but yeah, you gotta the black T-shirts come in faster than you can age some out. So
Yeah, that's the truth. Literally, I guess it was just last weekend. No, last week, right before I left for Michigan, though, we I took two more totes of t-shirts out to the fucking garage. I
yeah,
was like, "Do you think you have enough t-shirts?" I know that I have more than enough, but if they don't have a vinyl, or if I'm traveling long distance, like I'm gonna buy a t-shirt. That's just how it is.
yeah. Bands are T-shirt companies that just happen to make songs, which is good and bad. I mean, I love buying band T-shirts, but yeah, that is the life's blood of every band you go see. So buy T-shirts from every band.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
everyone else. I know I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Everyone go buy merch from any band you're seeing live. Support the process. That's what keeps the art coming to you. Dust and Bone is my jam. That is such a good fucking like catchy, catchy song. You guys are gonna keep that in for the legalized set, right?
We'll see how much time we have, but yeah, we'll try to bust that one out.
Cool. Who all do you know off the top of your head who all is playing the same day as you all?
Um,
That's the Low Pan Horse Burner night.
yeah, we've got Horse Burner, Low Pan, Rebreather, Crop, Friendship Commanders, Blind Scryer, us, Radian, Storm Toker, and Star Viper is kicking things off inside at 5:30.
Now Sympathy Jar is playing at 5.
Oh, hell yeah. One more.
Yeah.
That was not on my list, but that's tight.
So I think Sympathy Jar, and Star Viper are the two I know the least about. All the rest of those fucking bands absolutely rip. Obviously, I fucking love you guys. I'm stoked to see you guys play again. Friendship Commanders, I was talking with Buick and Jerry a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we played like Louisville a couple of times," and I'm thinking, "Oh, I missed them. Like that sucks." Because the music's great. She's got a fucking killer voice, and I'm telling him about Portal, and she's like, "Yeah, we've played Portal," and I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean you played Portal and I missed it?" Like,
Oh,
she
dude.
goes, "Oh, we played with who did they play with? Was it? I think it was Hippie, Death Cult, and Crop," and I was like, "I was at that fucking show. Like, I guess I did see you guys. Sorry, I don't remember. Like, I feel like such an ass
I haven't seen Friendship Commanders, but I'm excited to just because it's an awesome name.
for sure." So, do you listen to them, or have you listened to them?
I have not yet, but I'm excited to check them out.
So they're great. It's just a two piece. Buick sings, plays guitar. Jerry is on the drums, and I feel like every other instrument, but I could be wrong. Sorry, guys, if I am. Buick's voice, like when you listen to the album, her voice changes, but there's always like this familiarity to it. You're like, I've heard this voice before. That's how I feel about it. Like every time I hear her, I'm like, man, that's got to be Buick because I always feel like I know this voice from somewhere.
That's awesome.
It's yeah, they're fucking great. Super, super nice people too. Um,
Where are they from?
Nashville,
Okay. Hell yeah.
good old Nash Vegas. All right. What city do you like playing the most?
Oh, man. Honestly, like this is not pandering. Like literally after we played Magbar Fest last year, because we got added on super last minute and we ended up playing first. And sometimes when you play a fest first, you play to an empty room, And so when we started, it was an empty room, and it was like just Bob from She running sound and us in that room. And then at the end of the first song, I opened my eyes and the whole room was full, like packed to the gills. And it was just like some shows are just like a reminder of like why, because there's a lot of bummer nights that things don't go your way, and then sometimes they work out, and you're like, this is why we fucking do this, man. So that was real revitalizing getting to play in Louisville, and Louisville has a great scene. Louisville's always had a great scene since even way back in the day, but yeah, it seems like it just keeps getting better.
It absolutely does. And the really cool thing about like Mag Bar and the Mag Bar Fest is, dude, there's a fucking built-in crowd there. Even if you're not like a giant band that is gonna sell the place out. Not obviously you don't have to be a giant band to sell it out, but you come through and you're gonna have a good fucking crowd there to watch you.
I mean,
Like,
there's like nothing better. Great bar, great venue space, outdoor space, pizza next door. It's I mean, all the best shit together. Yeah, it's a blast. We love coming down to Louisville.
cheap beer, cheap pizza, and good music. Like, yes.
Oh yeah, dude.
I say that. I don't even drink, so whatever.
I don't drink a ton. I'm more of a Tweedsman, but it's pretty chill on that too. So
That's true. Yeah,
legal? Is it legal in Kentucky now?
it is medicinal in Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, we're not we have it's fully still illegal here. It's been decriminalized, but it's yeah, with the fascists in command right now, who knows? That's probably been recriminalized, but yeah, we love coming out to, I mean, Ohio's legal now. You guys have medicinal. Illinois is fully legal. Same with Michigan. I mean, that's half the ride on trying to get out of town is just to
Go
go
buy some
somewhere
weed.
where it's not as yeah, you get that dispensary level, and you get that the lack of having to get hassled by anyone. So love that.
Yeah. So it's so crazy. I don't smoke weed. I'm a pretty lame dude. Illinois, you go to Illinois, it's super expensive to buy weed. I'm told that in Ohio is pretty expensive to buy weed. So like a lot of people in Ohio go up to Michigan because it's so fucking cheap. Like,
Yeah, last time I went up to Chicago, we took a little detour over to Michigan because it's so cheap, it's so chill. Like, yeah, it's great.
yeah, it
They have it in like bulk bins, like you're getting fucking granola at the store. You know what I mean? You're just like, what a world.
it's like Costco for weed.
Yeah. I mean, especially, coming out of the late 90s where it was like you were rolling the dice on whatever you got back then. You know what I mean? Like it could just be oregano in a bag. You weren't sure, but like now it's like scientifically insane.
Enhanced.
And
Like, it's so funny though, because now they're seeing a lot of like, it's called CHS. It's some sort of like cannabinoid sickness where, yeah, you smoke or you ingest too much THC and your THC levels are super high, but it starts like you start vomiting and you can't eat anything. Like it makes you legit like sick as fuck.
I don't like that.
There, nah, me neither. There was a bass player on Buckley, used to play in the Convalescents. He got off the road and was like in and out of the hospital for, I don't know, a month or something. And at the end, they're like, "Oh, you've got to stop smoking weed. Like this is what it is." And he's like, "What?" Like, yeah, no more smoking weed.
That's
So he
why
quit.
I'm usually so much more like I don't drink a ton. Like I'll have a few beers, but like I don't drink a ton just because I don't like the next day hangover. Like I that shit hurts. Whereas usually, at least, obviously not for that gentleman, but obviously after you smoke weed, you're like, I'm back on track
Yeah,
the next morning. So
yeah. Well, I had to like give all of it up because I'm like weed doesn't I've tried to smoke weed, it doesn't agree with me at all. It just like I take one hit, I'm so high, like
Be in
I don't want
public.
to do anything. Leave me fucking be. And then drinking, I would always not always, but I would very often go I'm too far with it. Not where I would like fight or anything, but I'd wake up the next day and go, what happened last night?
Yeah.
Like, my wife's like, oh, you're fine. Like, did you say some dirty jokes? Sure, but you say those when you're sober. I'm like, okay, like that's cool, but I don't want to have those questions,
Yeah.
the next day. Like, I don't want to be out of line. I also did. We went to Indianapolis for Pantera, Lamb of God, and Snafu. Went to Kuma's and started drinking at like noon or whatever, and then went to the hotel and drank a bunch of moonshine. Then we went to the fucking liquor store, bought a bunch more shit. Went out to the parking lot and sat out there just pounding them down. I don't remember Lamb of God taking the stage, and I remember probably like the last 2 minutes of Pantera's set. Oh, that's bad.
No, that's why I've been trying to keep it to beer. I mean, you stay in one lane of, for me at least, whether it's a liquor or beer, but I tend to stick with beer just so I don't have that pounding headache the next day. But
It's the
it
older
takes you
you
a long
get.
time before you're like, man, I don't like that feeling.
Well, and the older you get, like, it got for me where I would be hungover for a couple of days
Yeah.
and like I wouldn't drink, I'd drink like Saturday night and then by like Wednesday I'm starting to feel normal again. And then I go and do it all over again. Well, it went from the hangover to anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I would drink like 2 beers and I'd wake up like my stomach in knots going, what happened last night? Like, I don't know, man. Like I drank 2 fucking beers. Why am I so anxious?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hate that feeling.
So,
I'm
I'm,
familiar.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
think,
sometimes it's just not worth the effort or the
right.
right.
No, it definitely is not. Whatever. Some people can do it. Obviously, I cannot, and I'm okay with that. More money I can spend on band merch.
Oh yeah. That's how I always think of it. I'm like, that's right there. That's more t-shirts right there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my thing now is posters. Like, if there's a fucking poster, I want the fucking poster because, I mean, I want to hang this shit on my walls. I want everyone to see it.
Yeah. No, it's the amount of like one-off, especially like screen printed posters and stuff like that very quickly accumulate a lot of artwork to put up in the house. And yeah, that was on that weekend with Lordship and She, our one of our buddies screen printed. Garrett drew a poster for that weekend and had all kinds of like kind of different warriors. He's an amazing artist unto himself. Check out the Goblin Trash if you haven't. But he does like incredible artwork, and it's real like old school comics, a lot of drippy textures, a lot of like very inspired by things like Garbage Pail Kids and just all of that awesome artwork from like the 80s that we all grew up with. And but yeah, he drew this incredible poster that we got printed up that we're going to be putting on our Bandcamp page here. So if you want some cool posters, go check that out for sure.
Yeah, that poster is cool as fuck too. I'm like, of course, I saw that and was like, I gotta have that damn thing.
Oh, dude. And there's like all of the like warrior dudes around it are all like awesome Easter eggs for movies and stuff. Like one of them is the Dracula armor from Bram Stoker's Dracula, and like there's a million different Easter eggs in there that are again all Garrett's genius. So
I love creative people that can do that, right? Like, oh, this is from that, this is from that, like, and just throw all that shit in. Because you look at it and you're like, man, this is really cool. And then like, oh, look at this. Fuck, I didn't even notice that. Like, holy shit.
yeah. He did an amazing t-shirt design for us before he was even in the band. And it was like someone had read through the lyrics and they were like, got it. Like we'll put together just like this insane, like I mean, there's Easter eggs for, 3 albums worth of like lyrical content in there. So it's That's like I think we have it up on Bandcamp as the Space Magic shirt. But yeah, it's he's an amazing artist, and yeah,
That's
we
fucking
try
cool.
not to bug him too much, but every once in a while we're like, hey, you mind making us new T-shirt or whatever?
Yeah, like do something cool for us now. What? Okay. Um, do you guys ever think about doing like show specific shirts, like just a super small, like 4 or 5 t-shirt run?
We definitely would. A lot of times, in order to print big enough, it's like you have to print somewhere between 20 to 30 shirts. And we definitely would with the right show. But yeah, it's hard to say it's just that show specific. It's more like these 30 shirts specific. And then
Yeah.
once we run out, then we'll print another one.
Then we'll figure something else out. Yeah. That, I think that's such a of course, I think it's cool that some of the bigger bands do it, like, Hatebreed does those like show specific shirts, but they know,
Oh
right? If they print 50 or 100, those are probably going to fucking sell, no problem. I would like to see like something. I did Headbangers Boat last year, and
yeah.
some of the bands had like boat themed or water themed like shirts, which were super fucking cool. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, like something like that, just like legalized coming up. Like, fuck, man, if we could do, a really cool legalized specific shirt for each band would be fucking dope.
That would be dope. Man, maybe I gotta figure that out before legalize. But
Yeah,
it'll
2 weeks
probably
away.
but it would probably be the kind of the same situation where we'd print a few, sell them at Lex, and then anything left over would just kind of roll with us for a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good fucking idea. Thank you.
you're welcome. It's got to be a big mushroom. I think that's the poster is.
That's
A
awesome.
little like what's the fucking movie with the girl and the mushroom and the cat and
Alice in Wonderland.
there you go.
I was like, Last of Us.
Dude,
That's also mushrooms.
I got too much shit in this little fucking pea brain. Like, I don't know. That would be really cool. John, also, I don't want to keep you all night. So
I appreciate
first,
having us on, man, or me on.
yeah, thanks. I appreciate your time, the time you've given me more than I can express. I've had a lot of fun sitting here chatting with you. Maybe we can do a little live on my YouTube channel at Legalize Lex.
Hell yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love that.
Rock and roll. Hell yeah. Uh, John, thank you, dude. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Ryan.
much.
Have a great rest of the weekend.
You too, brother. Don't do anything too crazy tonight.
I won't. See you, buddy.
See ya.